Our next inductee literally ran circles around the competition and kind of like a rabbit at the Greyhound track. They just never could catch her, ever. Here's the introduction for the great Jill Snyder-Kerr.
A five-time All-America, Edwin G. Wilson Scholar Athlete of the Year, and six-time All-ACC in women's indoor and outdoor track and field, Jill Snyder-Kerr is one of the most decorated track and field stars in Wake Forest history and the latest addition to the Wake Forest Sports Hall of Fame. She was a four-year letter winner and continues to hold several school record event times in the indoor 1,000 meters, 800 meters, and indoor and outdoor relays. In addition to her All-ACC efforts in the indoor mile and women's outdoor 1,500 meters, Snyder-Kerr also continues to hold the program record in the distance medley relay and the outdoor 4x1,500 relay. Congratulations to Jill Snyder-Kerr on her induction into the Wake Forest Sports Hall of Fame.
Good evening. I'd like to begin by expressing my gratitude to Wake Forest and to the Hall of Fame committee for nominating me. I'd like to especially thank Allison Edwards for coordinating all the details of this weekend. I'm honored to be here, and I offer my congratulations to the other inductees, Meka, Eric, Carlos, Jose, Sid, and Dr. Hearn. I wish to express my gratitude to Wake Forest for believing in me, for providing a scholarship to me so that I could earn my bachelor's degree, and for awarding me a fellowship to complete my master's in education. I've worked as an educator and a coach for 23 years, and I use my degrees every day. I'm grateful to my coaches, Annie and Jen, their support during the difficult times, and I wish to emphasize that good coaches can coach through the good times, but that it is most especially during the difficult moments that the truly great coaching happens. I'm so grateful to my teammates, especially Janelle, Allie, Kathleen, Sarah, and Liz, who traveled to be here with me today. Track and field and cross country require such a unique and beautiful blend of individual and team pursuits, and each of you played a significant role, a significant part in my journey as a Demon Deacon. We logged thousands of miles side by side as we aimed to push the limits of what our bodies could do. Thank you for sharing the track, the roads, and the trails with me. Your friendship is a treasure, and it is so meaningful to have you here today. To my brother Sam and my sister Dana, thank you for being here tonight, for being dedicated to your families, and most of all, thank you for reminding me that family and the pursuit of excellence takes so many forms. Thank you for being yourselves, for the love and the support that you've given me in the ups and downs of life. You are forever my family, and you are precious to me. I'm so excited to be here with my husband and my children, to return here with Matt, my husband of 20 years, almost 20, the man of my dreams, to return to where we spent the first year of our marriage together, coaching at Wake Forest. I love you. Thank you to my daughter Madeline and my son James for traveling down from Boston to be here tonight. And thank you to my four younger daughters, Eloise, Rose, Violet, and Jessamine, who will join us tomorrow at the game and who are hopefully behaving for the babysitter back at the hotel. My children are my most precious gift, and I'm so excited to bring our whole family back to Wake Forest. My incredible parents, Randy and Kathy Snyder, are here tonight as well. I will share more about what they mean to me shortly, but first I will tell you a little bit about my most poignant memories as a Deke. I'm just so excited to be here with you tonight, and I have to confess that as this day has drawn closer, the dreams that I'm back here on campus and that the coach needs me to anchor the relay team, but I'm not in race shape, have been happening with greater frequency. So I'm running slower these days, but it's been a treat to have a good reason to stop and to reflect on the past. I was so excited to start at Wake. I arrived as a freshman bursting with impatience to hurry up and make my mark. I had finished my high school career as a three-sport athlete and as a nationally ranked half-miler. I couldn't wait to get started and to focus on running for the first time ever. I was so passionate about the sport of track and field. I was ready to work hard and to help the team and to make my way towards being an All-American and an NCAA champion. I believed it was possible, and I was so eager. I jumped right in. I doubled the volume and the quality of my training, and I did every workout to the letter. In the fall, I had played field hockey in high school, so doing cross country in the fall was new to me, and although it was extremely difficult, I wanted to be a top 5 scorer at Wake Forest. And cross country is a great sport. It's raw, it's rough, it's unpredictable because the course takes the form of whatever the local terrain and weather throw at you. The adjustment for me was pretty brutal. The 800 meters, my best event on the track, takes a little over 2 minutes to complete. Cross-country races were 18 minutes of racing, and the difference for me was tremendous. I stuck with it. I ran as a varsity scorer for most of my freshman season. I developed some chronic knee pain, but as I had never been injured, I didn't know how to handle it. I ran through the pain until I couldn't walk without limping and ultimately had major surgery in December of my freshman year. My world turned upside down. Several months prior, I had been at the top of my game, and the possibilities seemed limitless, and now I couldn't even navigate the steps in my dorm room or walk between the quads without crutches. I rushed my recovery and returned to full training 2 months later and promptly injured my foot, limped through the spring track season, and ran slower than I did in high school. As I returned home over the summer to regroup, I was so angry, and I was honestly unsure if Wake Forest was the right place for me. I felt all the conflicting emotions of not understanding why I couldn't run like I wanted to and feeling guilty for not upholding what I felt was my responsibility to contribute to the team. As I thought and healed and prayed about my future that summer, I considered rerouting and transferring, but ultimately I realized I loved Wake Forest. I loved the school, I loved the team, and I wanted to make it work. As a sophomore, I returned to school healthy, motivated, and more responsible for the aspects of my training that I could control. I grew up that summer and began to understand that as an adult, I couldn't follow anyone's training plan without a healthy dose of my own self. I had to learn to make it my own. I needed to partner with the coach. I could be a team player, but I had to hold tight to what I knew I needed. I made working out in the weight room a non-negotiable. I took care of how I cooled down and how many hours I slept. I worked on my sports nutrition. I made time for the lengthy warm-up that I knew that I needed. I ran for 4 more years at Wake Forest, and many years after that as a professional athlete. I was never injured again for any real length of time. Although my first major memories as a deke were hard ones, they prepared me for adulthood, and they taught me to take care of myself so that I could better care for others. My fondest memories at Wake Forest as an athlete were the team accomplishments at Penn Relays and ACCs, finishing 4th in the NCAA Championship Distance Medley Relay, earning bids to cross-country nationals, savoring every team victory over NC State and UNC, and winning an NCAA regional cross-country team title. On an individual level, one of my favorite memories involved a rivalry I had with a miler from Georgia Tech. For 2 years in a row, I won the indoor ACC mile championship in the winter indoor track season, only to be outkicked in photo finishes by this runner 2 consecutive springs in the ACC outdoor championship. As a kicker myself, it was maddening to feel her beat me at my own sit and kick game. In my senior year, I worked with my coach on a plan to try and outrace this competitor. We studied her patterns and devised a strategy that would capitalize on my strength and take the sting out of her fast finish. I did so many interval workouts, right out there, and lower stakes races that spring to prepare for kicking from 700 meters out. And in the spring of my senior year, I surprised her by taking control at 800 meters and pushing for the finish with an aggressive final 2 laps. It was successful, and I won my first outdoor ACC title in the 1,500 meters. My cousin Christy was there to see that victory at Duke, and I'm so excited she's here tonight too. I love you so much. As my collegiate career drew to a close, I was asked to stay on as a Demon Deacon, and I joined the men's and women's track and field and cross-country coaching staff from 2001 to 2004. And during that time, I had the privilege of working with so many outstanding people. We had fantastic, hardworking teams, and we're proud to bring home the first ACC women's cross-country title in program history. As I reflected on what I wanted to share tonight, I spent a lot of time considering what made it possible to achieve certain things. And as I traced the memories and considered the choices I had made to work, to dream, to fail, to recalibrate, to try again, it always came back to the foundation of my family and my parents. Dad, because of your story, you inspired me as a young girl to dream about the possibility of being a college athlete and to dream about earning a scholarship by working hard. I wanted to be just like you. I knew that you had done it, and so that gave me confidence to believe that it was possible. My dad is the only person I've ever known who earned a college scholarship as a miler, who then switched over his freshman year to being a scholarship football player. You've always forged your own path, have made unorthodox choices like moving your family across the country to start your own business from scratch because you wanted a different life for your children and because you wanted to support your elderly parents. Your willingness to take risks, your work ethic, your humility were it. You were my main inspiration. I love you and thank you for showing me the way. This brings me to my mom. Many of the Deeks here tonight know the Wake Forest alma mater that praises this wonderful school, our mother so dear. But as a refresher, the lyrics go like this. Dear old Wake Forest, thine is a noble name, thine is a glorious fame, constant and true. We give thee of our praise, adore thine ancient days, sing thee our humble lays, mother so dear. Dear old Wake Forest, mystic thy name to cheer, be thou our guardian near, for e'er and I, we bow before thy shrine. Thy brow with bays entwine, all honor now be thine, mother today. Mom, my mother so dear, your love and availability were the bedrock of everything I've ever accomplished, both in sports and in the game of life. Your patience, kindness, and love gave me the confidence I needed to attempt big things, to fail, to realize that I wasn't defined by my athletic successes, to learn from my mistakes, to fight for what matters, and to try again. My mother so dear, your love supported me to ultimately thrive at my mother so dear, my alma mater, Wake Forest. You gave me the love I needed to learn how to love others, to give generously of myself to my team, to the athletes I coached for 4 years at Wake Forest, to mentor the students and athletes I've coached over the past 2 decades. Your love prepared me for my ultimate vocation. As a young adult, I thought I was destined for the Olympics. I thought if I worked hard enough, I would get there, that was what I was made for. And while I didn't make it quite that far, I realized that the Olympics God had in store for me were even better. In 2007, we were blessed with our first daughter. In 2008, our son arrived. In 2015, we were overjoyed to welcome a second daughter. I was so happy, and in 2016, when I learned I was pregnant again, I thought 4 children seemed like a wonderful number. However, we would learn shortly after that I was carrying 3 babies, that we had been blessed with spontaneous triplets. That 35-week pregnancy was extraordinarily difficult. It was the hardest race of my life. I'm grateful every day for my experience as an athlete because in my case, I know that my background as an athlete carried me through and helped me bring my daughters into the world safely. Now, 15 years after retiring my spikes, I realize that the endurance, the fortitude, and the resilience that I learned from my mother and from Wake Forest prepared me to handle the unexpected gift and challenge of mothering triplets, along with 3 other children. This was the Olympics God had in mind for me. And as the song ends, may the honor be thine, mother, today. Thank you to my mother, my father, and to Wake Forest for giving me the foundation to teach, coach, and mentor today. Thank you.